Hello everybody. This isn't going to be the most professional video in the world. You could probably hear my heater in the background. It's super loud, so sorry about that. But I woke up in the middle of the night. I think it's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now. But I wanted to look through Crunchyroll and find an anime that is right up my alley. Me, personally, I'm not the most well-rounded when it comes to anime. I've watched, the big mainstream animes like Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, but for the most part, I haven't watched much anime in general, and I want to get more into it. I have a free 2 months of Crunchyroll, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be the perfect time to start watching anime, and I didn't know where to start, and I still don't really know where to start in a general sense, but I did find something that piqued my interest, and that is the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. That's the name of the anime. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. It's huge. It's a huge name for a anime series. It reminds me of like a title of an episode. Like it's literally like a recap. Hey, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. But that's the series name. And let me explain what it is a little bit. So, Japan has Super Sentai, and Power Rangers is Power Rangers is the American version of Super Sentai that uses Super Sentai footage in American footage. They redub the Super Sentai in English, and also the live action portions are redone, except with the suits. Like, the suit stuff is Japanese, and then the other stuff is not. But then sometimes, you know what I'm saying. It's based off of Super Sentai, use Super Sentai footage, but it's American. Okay, that's where we are. The Power Rangers, right? You've seen them. They started in 1993 based off of Super Sentai, and they went up all the way to 2023 or 2024. And supposedly there's a new series gonna happen. I don't know. We don't know for sure what's actually happening. But the Red Ranger and the Mage is the first episode of the Red Ranger goes. Wait, gosh, I gotta keep looking. Oh, whoops. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. That's what it's called. I keep having to look at it. I'm looking at it on my TV. Like I said, this isn't going to be the most professional thing in the world. But so basically, there are 5 Rangers. They have a mecha. They have like a Megazord, whatever. But then the Red Ranger has to leave them and go after the big baddie by himself. And then all of a sudden, he gets basically defeated and brought into another world. And in this other world, there are adventurers that go around and try to, fight the baddies. There's a mage who is trying to find an adventurer to help give happiness to the world. But that's what the series is. So it starts off 6 months after he comes into this new world, and when that happens, he's a very strong adventurer and is able to morph and turn into a ranger. And so the series isn't specifically related to Super Sentai or Power Rangers, but it is like the closest thing to a Power Rangers anime that I feel like we'll get in a very long time, or a Power Rangers animated series, whatever. And they poke a lot of fun. The mage character, right, is basically what people think in the back of their heads when a ranger morphs and everything explodes behind them, or they destroy somebody and explodes. Like, there's this commentary on the show when that's happening, and it's absolutely hilarious. I love every piece of dialogue in this episode. I love the animation style. I love how he morphs. I love Red as a character so far. and it's exactly what I've been looking for. I'm so happy, I'm so excited. There are only a few episodes so far, and I've only watched the first one so far. I don't know if it's going to get worse as time goes on, or it's going to stay at that same level of creativity and beautiful animation, because I really like this, and I hope it continues to feel that way to me. But that's why I wanted to get on here and talk to you, because it just feels so nice, you know, starting something new without having any, information about it at all, and then clicking on it and really enjoying it. This is Power Rangers, but an anime, and yes, we're just following one of the Power Rangers, but we get to see the Megazord, we get to see the Mecha, we get to see his team before he goes into the other world, and there's no telling what they're going to do around that. I'm assuming with the title of the series, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. We're not going to see the other ones at all, but the hope is that he will eventually find a way to get out of the world and go back to his other life, while the mage is able to, push a loving agenda. And it's funny because close to the end, he's like, hey, we need to have a strong bond for this next thing to become strong for us. And even though they just met, she's even like, we just met, how could we have a strong bond? He's like, our friendship is already strong enough because we've shared these dreams with each other, and I think we can make this happen. And so instead of 5 people working the mecha, it's only 2, because it's only him and the mage, that I forget her name this very second, but the characters themselves, both of them, are very likable so far. I like them. They're not super whiny, nothing like that. I think that it's going to be a really good series. I'm very excited about it, and this is exactly what I wanted. I'm so shocked that the first anime that I picked out myself was something that I really enjoyed. But if there's any anime suggestions that you have for somebody who's only watched mainstream anime, not even like all the popular ones, not Attack on Titan, um, Hunter x Hunter, isn't that one of them? And My Hero Academia, I haven't watched any of those, but this show right here, this is right up my alley. This is Power Rangers at its core, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So, if you haven't seen this, you should definitely go watch it. But if you have, give me some suggestions on other animes. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope that this goes out to a pretty wide audience. I don't know what's going to happen, but thanks so much. Goodbye.